was holding my college acceptance letter when my mom looked me in the eyes and said he deserved it more. Not sorry, not even a little ashamed, just certain. And that was the moment I realized I had never really known my parents at all. If you are new here, welcome to Her Words. This channel is for every woman who has ever been told she is not enough. Hit subscribe and stay with me. This story is just getting started. My name is Sarah. I am 23 years old, and I am still healing from something my own family did to me. I used to think I had a good childhood, normal parents, a regular house, a younger brother named Marcus who I loved even when he drove me crazy. I used to think we were just a regular family, but the older I get, the more I look back and see things I did not understand when I was little. Small things, quiet things, the kind of things that do not hurt you all at once. They hurt you slowly over years until one day you wake up and realize you have been bleeding this whole time and you never even noticed. It started when I was young. I was maybe 10 or 11 when Marcus came home crying because some kids at school had laughed at his shoes. My mom held him for almost an hour. She made him hot chocolate. She sat with him on the couch and told him he was the most special boy in the world. A few months before that, I had come home crying because my best friend had told the whole class my secret. I cried in my room alone. My mom knocked once, opened the door, and said, "You are a strong girl. You will be fine." And then she closed the door and went back to cooking dinner. I believed her. I told myself she was right. I told myself being strong was a good thing. I kept telling myself that for years. When Marcus failed his classes, my dad got him a tutor. When I got a B on my test after studying for 2 weeks straight, my mom said I could do better. When Marcus crashed his car at 17, my parents paid to fix it and told him accidents happen. When I needed $60 for a school trip, I babysat the neighbor's kids for 3 weekends to get the money myself because I did not want to ask. I never asked. That was the thing. I never wanted to be a burden. I thought that was a good quality. I thought I was being mature. I did not understand that I had taught them it was okay to forget about me. I worked so hard through high school. I stayed up late, studying. I never missed a deadline. I kept my grades up while working a part-time job on weekends. I had one goal in my head the whole time, and it kept me going every single day. College. A real one, a better life, a way I thought my parents had told me since I was little that they had a college fund saved for me. It was not a huge amount, but it was enough. Every time money felt tight or life felt hard, I would think about that fund and feel safe. Like no matter what happened, there was something waiting for me, something that was mine. I got my acceptance letter on a Tuesday afternoon in March. I ran home. I was shaking. I was so happy I could not even talk properly. I walked through the front door holding that letter, and I felt like everything I had worked for my whole life had finally meant something. At night, I went to sleep feeling like the future was real for the first time. I found out the truth 3 weeks later. I was walking downstairs to get water late at night. My mom was in the kitchen on the phone with my aunt. She did not know I was there, and I heard her say it clear as anything in that quiet, dark house. She said the college fund was gone. She said they had used it for Marcus a while back. She said he needed it more at the time. And then she said something I will never forget for as long as I live. She said Sarah will figure it out. She always does. I stood in that hallway and I did not move for a very long time. I was not even crying. I just stood there. And something inside me that had been soft my whole life went completely still. I waited 2 days. I did not say anything. I went to school. I came home. I ate dinner across from my parents like everything was normal. I needed to be calm. I knew if I walked in there with tears on my face, they would find a way to make it about my reaction and not about what they had done. On the 3rd day, I sat them both down. I told them what I had heard. I asked them to explain it to me. My dad looked at the table. He did not say a word. My mom looked straight at me, and she said it like it was the simplest thing in the world. he deserved it more. 4 words, that was it? No sorry, no explanation. No, we are going to fix this. Just 4 words that told me everything I needed to know about how they had seen me my entire life. I did not scream. I did not cry in front of them. I pushed my chair back, stood up, walked to my room, and closed the door behind me. I sat on my bed. The acceptance letter was on my desk. I stared at it for a long time, and I thought about every single moment I had talked myself into believing that being the strong one was the same as being loved. It was not the same. It had never been the same. That night I made a decision. But I need you to know before I tell you what that decision was that what came next was not easy. It was not pretty. It was the hardest thing I have ever done in my life. And it all started with a phone call I almost did not make. I picked up my phone and I put it back down 4 times before I finally made that call. I do not know why I almost did not do it. Maybe I was scared of what it meant. Maybe making that call made everything real in a way that sitting in my room did not. Maybe some small part of me was still hoping I would wake up and none of it would have happened. But I did not wake up. Because it was not a dream. So on the 5th try I held the phone to my ear and I waited. She picked up on the 2nd ring, my aunt. The same one my mom had been talking to that night in the kitchen. The one who had heard everything my mother said about me like I was just a problem that solved itself. I do not know why I called her specifically. Maybe because she already knew. Maybe because I did not have to explain everything from the beginning. Maybe because at that moment she was the only person I could think of who had heard my name spoken in that house and knew what it meant. I told her what happened, not the overheard phone call. The confrontation, what my mom said, all 4 words. Of it, there was a long silence on the other end. And then my aunt said something that cracked me open in a way I was not expecting. She said, Sarah, I have watched you hold yourself together your whole life so that no one else had to. You were never the strong one. You were just the one they never worried about carrying. I sat there on my bed and I cried for the first time since all of this started. Not little tears. The ugly kind. The kind that come from somewhere deep and old and tired. The kind that feel less like sadness and more like something finally being released after being held in for way too long. I cried for the little girl who got a closed door when she needed a hug. I cried for every weekend I spent working instead of just being a teenager. I cried for the fun that was supposed to be mine. I cried for the way my mom had said those 4 words without even flinching. And then I stopped. Not because I was okay, but because something had shifted. Something quiet and small but completely solid had moved inside my chest. I looked at that acceptance letter on my desk, and I thought, they do not get to take this from me. Not this. Not this one thing. The next morning I woke up early and I sat at my desk and I started researching scholarships, grants, financial aid, student loans, work-study programs. I wrote down everything I found in a notebook. I filled 4 pages front and back before noon. I applied for every scholarship I was eligible for. Some of them had essays. I wrote every single one. I sat at that desk night after night and I wrote about my goals and my story and what I wanted my life to look like. I had never talked about myself that much in my entire life. It felt strange at first, like I was doing something I was not supposed to do, but I kept going. I got to scholarships. Not big ones, but real ones. Money that was given to me because someone read my words and believed I was worth investing in. That meant more to me than I can explain. I took out student loans for the rest. I got a part-time job on campus before the semester even started. I moved into the smallest dorm room I had ever seen with 1 suitcase and a laundry bag, and I sat on that tiny bed and I thought, this is mine. Every single inch of this is mine. The first year was hard in ways I did not fully prepare for. I was tired all the time. I was homesick even though home had hurt me. I called my aunt more than anyone else. Some nights I ate plain rice because I had budgeted wrong and I was too proud to ask for help. Some nights I sat in the library at midnight doing homework and wondering if I had made the right choice or if I should have just deferred and figured something else out. But I kept going. I kept going because every time I thought about stopping, I thought about my mom's face at that kitchen table. Calm, certain, like my whole future was a small thing that did not require much thought. And something in me refused to prove her right. About 8 months after I moved out, my mom called me. I almost did not pick up, but I did. She did not apologize. She asked how I was doing. She told me Marcus was thinking about taking some online courses. She talked for a few minutes like we were just two people catching up, like nothing had happened. Like 4 words had not changed everything between us forever. And when she finished talking, there was a silence, and I think she was waiting for me to fill it the way I always had. To say it was fine, to say I was managing, to make it easy for her. I did not do that. I said, Mom, what you did hurt me. And what you said hurt me more. I needed you to fight for me at least once, and you did not. I am not calling to argue. I just need you to know that I know. And I am not going to pretend that I do not. She was quiet for a long time. She said, You turned out fine, Sarah. And I said I turned out fine because of me, not because of you. And then I said goodbye and I hung up. I sat there for a moment waiting to feel something, guilt maybe, or sadness. But what I felt was something closer to peace. Not the kind of peace that means everything is fixed. The kind that means you have finally put something down that you were never supposed to be carrying in the first place. I am still in school. I am still working. Some months are harder than others and some nights are longer than they should be. But I wake up every morning in a life I built myself with my own hands on my own terms, with no one's permission and no one's fund and no safety net except the one I made. I stitch out of everything they told me I could not have. And if you are watching this right now and someone in your life has made you feel like you were the one who deserved less, I want you to hear this. They were wrong. They were wrong about you the way they were wrong about me. And the life you build without their belief in you will be the most powerful proof that ever existed that they never deserved to decide your worth in the first place. You are not the strong one because you have it easy. You are the strong one because you never stopped. Even when no one was watching. Even when no one said, well done. Keep going. That is all. Just keep going.